What's good, YouTube? This video is going to be about why men cheat. Somebody asked me a question on Instagram. They said, I hope this isn't stupid, but a video on why men cheat. What's the reason behind it, especially when they consistently go on women who are actually really good to them, or go out on women who are actually really good to them? Okay, so I can think of about four offhand, four reasons why men cheat. One of the reasons why men cheat is that they themselves individually have an insatiable need for variety. We often hear that variety is the spice of life, for some more than others. A lot of people need the excitement of something new. That's why we've heard sex be referred to as strange, right? People always say, or at least I've known people to say, yeah, I need some strange. Meaning I need a new experience. I need somebody new. I need some variety in my life. A lot of us are looking for excitement in different ways, and men who seek excitement through sex often like variety. That's why it's very important to make sure that you measure a guy's relationship with sex. A person should always be balanced. A lot of people lack balance. A guy who lacks balance will always, or many times, will present his sex to you before he presents his mind or his intellect or his values to you as a person. He'll present his sex. He wants to tell you and show you that he's a freak. He'll send unsolicited dick pics. There are different ways that people present their sexual imbalance, but those people have an insatiable need for sex and pleasure. That's what they're looking for in life, and that's where their focus is. They're not on an evolutionary journey to be enlightened in this way or that way. The only thing they're trying to enlighten is the tip of their, so do your best to recognize whether or not a man has a healthy relationship with sex, or whether he has an unhealthy relationship with it that's not conducive to a healthy relationship with you. A man's appetite and attitude towards sex should be similar to yours, or something that you can identify with, because if not, if you get a guy who has a voracious sexual appetite and you yourself don't, ultimately after those butterflies wear away and you're in a relationship with this person, they still need it every day or twice a day or 14 times a day, and you still want it 3 times a week, twice a week. If they are run by their desires sexually, then they will probably go find someone else. If they don't have the patience, if they don't have other focuses, and if they're not on other journeys besides sexual exploration, they have an insatiable need for variety sexually, and it's very difficult for a person like that to calm themselves down enough not to always be window shopping and always have a wandering eye. The second reason that guys cheat a lot of times is that they're as unfulfilled as the women who cheat are. We often hear about, women cheating for emotional reasons and psychological reasons, and men cheat because they like variety and because they just, unfaithful or whatever. But there are men who cheat when they love someone a lot, right? But that doesn't mean they know how to love or that they love appropriately. But when they care about somebody, they don't want to lose in their life, but they also are not getting enough from them. And they've lost hope in the idea that they could ever get enough from them. When a guy loses hope in your ability to evolve with him or to evolve for him, ultimately, if he loves you too much meaning for him, right? Not like, because love in and of itself doesn't mean loyalty. It just means love, attachment. But with that said, if a guy loves you too much to lose you, but he has lost hope in your ability to evolve sexually, energetically, emotionally, psychologically, depending on which ways he's lost hope in you, he'll cheat to satiate those needs. If a man has lost hope in your ability to connect with him emotionally and connect with him intellectually, then he'll emotionally cheat with someone else. If a man has lost ability in your ability to evolve sexually with him and experiment and try some things, but he loves you too much to leave you, and he needs your emotional value and he needs your spiritual value, then he'll find a woman who satiates him sexually, or multiple partners who can just serve the need of providing him that variety or that excitement that he needs sexually. Now, again, I'm not excusing these guys. What I'm just saying is these are why everyone cheats. It's not a man thing. I talk to cheating ass women on a daily basis. So don't miss me with this whole man shit, because I know women right now who are cheating on their husbands, who are cheating on their boyfriends, and who love their husbands and boyfriends but don't give a damn about cheating. They have completely separated themselves from the idea that that shouldn't be happening. They've blocked it out. They are indifferent to that idea because they need to get what they want, and that's all they're thinking about. They're not necessarily thinking about hurting a person because they feel like if they're careful enough and they don't get caught, nobody gets hurt, right? So again, like women, men cheat when they are not being fulfilled and they're not getting one of their intrinsic natural needs met. Something that doesn't leave them, a need that they can't put down. If it's not being met, they may wander off, or they will be susceptible to being tempted in certain ways by people and finding themselves in awkward situations. It's not necessarily about the intent to betray, but betrayal is more likely for some people when they have a natural need that they can't put down, and it seems to be have the potential to be given or satiated or fulfilled by someone else. Especially if they've lost hope in your ability to evolve or attempt it or try it. And we all know that sometimes we get comfortable and we're not interested in making improvements in certain areas and we don't feel like we have to. That's cool. And I don't think that we should always have to fold ourselves into a pretzel to make somebody be loyal to us. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just explaining that some people, when they don't get those needs met, they go find someone or something who satiates those needs. Another reason why men cheat is they are not, again, I think I mentioned this earlier, but spiritually and energetically grounded. They're not balanced. If you lack balance, if you lack a spiritual grounding, if you are not on your evolutionary journey at any given time, you can really be blown in any direction of any of your whims, right? If we operate too much as physical bodies and not enough as spiritual entities, we follow our bodies into a dark place. Many men have followed their bodies into sexual perversion or addiction. You hear about people addicted to adult movies and stuff like that. Like if you're not grounded, addictions take over. And some people are addicted to drugs, alcohol. Other people are addicted to an array of odd things. Many of you watch Taboo. There are people addicted to eating toilet paper. It's because they're not grounded. Some people just need to serve their spirits and get centered, and they're not centered. And so from a spiritual, energetic, very invisible type of place, some people aren't serving themselves and their humanity in the way that they should. They're surviving as humans, people, day-to-day lives, as animals. You go to work, you come home, you pay your bills, you sleep, you eat, you have sex, and you shit. And that's the existence of these people. But that's not all that life is. And if you neglect the energy, if you neglect the spirit, if you neglect the person's consciousness and the evolution therein of all of those things, you tend to follow into a certain pattern, and generally it's in a physical, carnal sense that you explore certain things habitually to fulfill yourself because you're not balanced. So I know that that's probably pretty airy, but those are real reasons that some people cheat, and some people aren't grounded enough to be faithful to anyone because they're not first being faithful to themselves. Also, another reason men cheat is because they know you won't leave and they have a lack of respect for you. Like I said earlier, or on another video, sometimes a person will, guilt you into feeling like you can't go anywhere because they'll break if you leave or something like that. Or a lot of times a guy will give you the responsibility to stay, for his mental health and all of these things while he's just screwing you over and cheating on you and mistreating you and abusing you. A lot of times people who don't respect their partners have picked up an asset or an employee. They haven't picked up a person or picked up a relationship that they intend to serve. They intend to be served. Some people don't intend to love, they just want to be loved. And if you find yourself with one of those people, a selfish person who's only thinking about themselves and who is only looking to acquire the fullness of life without offering their self as a resource to the fullness of someone else's life, that's what you get. Some people are just for me, yeah, right? Every man for himself, and even if you're in a relationship with one of these people, you can still see that they're living for themselves. And so when you get with one of these people, it's very important, obviously, that you leave. You don't have anything to get from them. They can't offer you any value, and they're going to crumble you. But at the same time, just understand that some people are just not good enough. And they don't care about people. They don't respect people. They're narcissists. All they care about is themselves. And at least that's the manifestation of their behavior, is that they really only care about themselves and their own pleasure. If a person's chasing pleasure and not seeking happiness in life overall, then they will go with the whims of what pleasures them, and that ultimately leaves their partner in the cold. So I guess that one's 2 in 1, because the other one was they lack respect for you. So I guess the last two were, now I've confused myself. I don't even know where I'm at. They know you won't leave and they don't respect you. And then the other one is they're not in relationships to give, only to receive. Some people are acquiring partnerships as they would a car or a house or a good job or something else that just check the box for them in their life. If you find yourself being treated like a box checked off, then you have to get out of there. A lot of women get married because it's a box to check off, but they're not necessarily invested in the relationship. And I've talked to a lot of these women, and they find themselves ready to leave. And at this point, they want to get married for the right reasons, but they married the wrong guy because they thought marriage was, the goal and not a healthy relationship or, a functional relationship. They wanted to check it off. They had the house, they had the car, they had the marriage, and they had the accolades of success because we're trained to think that these things are success. These things are what a successful adult does, and an unsuccessful adult is not married and doesn't have kids and doesn't have a good job or a nice car, and all of these stupid ass things that we've compiled in our to-do list as adults and Americans and as people around the world. Some people have acquired a relationship just as they acquire other accolades, and if you find yourself to just be a box that somebody's checked, ultimately you'll realize very quickly that they're not loyal to the box they check. They're loyal to the person they really love and want to be with. People cheat on people who are just assets because they treat them like just assets. If you're a resource to a person for love or for the accolade, but they're not loyal to everything that you represent, if they don't value everything that you represent, then they go off and cheat because it's about an acquisition. It's not about love. They go and acquire new sexual partners. They're collecting assets. They're not collecting responsibilities or obligations and connections and real relationships. They're collecting people. They're acquiring relationships so they can feel full, so they can feel rich in love and just rich in life overall. A lot of people are collectors of a great many things, but they also collect relationships and soul connections and people connections, and so they won't be faithful. They won't be in loving, loyal relationships because that's not something that they're going after. Their goal in life is to have as much as possible. And when people get into that mode, they will never be loyal to their partners, no matter how loyal their partners are to them. Anyway, I hope that helps. I think I've rambled long enough. If you want a consultation, you can go to girltalkwithguys.com. If you want to follow me on Instagram and ask me questions like this where I ramble off the answers to, you can go to KFIC24 on Instagram. Pretty soon I will be announcing my new book and where you can go to pre-register and join my email list to get access to the book and maybe even win a free copy for review. So if you're interested in that, just keep watching my videos. I will be making that announcement very soon. Anyway, that's all I got for now. Follow me at KFIC24 on Instagram. I'll get with y'all later.